Welcome back. This is Sandy with Sandy's Organized Chaos, and today we're going to be doing the spring-inspired tumbler. As always, I'll make sure to put everything I use today into the description box below, so that way you guys can recreate this item if you would like to. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and let's wake up, prep these tumblers, and slay all day. Let's do this. I was digging around my craft space and I happened upon this tumbler that I had already prepped. Gosh, I want to say like last year. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to use this, but I'm going to leave the handle on it. I know some people like to take the handles off, which I had been doing. This is actually the first time I'm going to leave the handles on. So I'm just going to really make sure that those handles are nicely tightened down to the tumbler base. And I'm also going to make sure that when I go to put it on my wand, I'm going to let it rotate around my turner just to make sure that handle's not going to hit either. So the pink swirl really didn't go with the ombre look that I was going for, so I went ahead and spray painted it white, and I let that dry really well, and now we're ready to do our ombre. The glitters I'm going to be using today are chamomile, nocturnal, periwinkle, lily, and crocus. You can find all those at socglitters.com if you would like to. Because I'm using so many glitters today, I'm going to use epoxy as my adhesive to get those glitters stuck down, just so that way I know I have enough work time to be able to do what I need to do. So I'm just going to put a very thin layer of epoxy onto my tumbler. Pretty much that one stripe of epoxy that I put on the front, I'm stretching completely around this tumbler, making sure that it's fully coated. I'm going to start with my darkest color and I'm going to end with the same exact color. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle this up onto the bottom. Then I'm going to focus on dropping that glitter right at the edge of the tumbler where it starts to curve down along the sides, and I'm just going to drop that glitter down like that, and I'm going to let it just naturally cascade down until it goes up about the height that I want. Because I'm working with such a large tumbler, I'm going to make these gaps a bit bigger. So this is a good 2-3 inches for me. You might need to make it a bit smaller if you want to add all these glitters onto a smaller tumbler. Now I'm going to move on to Nocturnal, which is like the second darkest color I have, and I was pointing out there that I'm going to be dropping that glitter down about in the middle of where this purple stops. So I'm going to sprinkle this glitter right over top, right in that middle area, and I'm going to tilt it forward a little bit as I lightly dust it with the glitter, and then I'm going to tilt it back again as I lightly dust it. Now when I tilt it back like this, I'm going to make sure that, as you can see, I have it tilted pretty high. So again, I create that natural fade look of the glitter down the sides. Then I'm going to start with my lighter colors. So this is Periwinkle. This is a pastel color. And just like I did with Nocturnal, I'm going to start it in the center of where the glitter previously is. And I'm going to just kind of naturally let that do its thing as I tilt it back and forth, making sure that I stop about, again, where I want it to. And each one of these sections, it was about 2 to 3 inches wide because, again, I'm working with such a large base. And I know it's hard to see, but I have to make sure that that handle matches up with what I'm doing next to it. So I'm just making sure that I really come through and get that handle coated with the glitter so that way it all matches. Moving on to the next pastel color, this is called Lily, and again, just doing the same thing. I am going to blend it up and down in the color previously, just giving it that gap that I would like to, keeping in mind that I still have 2 more glitter colors that I need to apply. And of course, making sure it matches up on the handle as well. Now dipping back into a darker color to almost end it. This is the second to last color. I'm going to use chamomile, and I was going for like the spring sunset, so I just wanted a touch of this yellow just to kind of give the hint of like the sun, I guess. You know, it's not needed. You could have just went back in with the crocus, but this is what I wanted to do, okay? So I'm going to just make sure that I leave a bit of a gap for the crocus and make sure that, again, everything matches up, and then we'll move on to the last glitter color. And ending with the crocus, I'm going to make sure I get it up around the rim, and then I'm just going to tilt it forward and let it naturally kind of fade down into everything else. And after I'm done applying my glitter, I'm going to set it off to the side and let that cure. After that has cured, I'm going to take a chip brush and I'm going to sweep away any loose glitters that just didn't get adhered down to our first layer here. This will really help out when we go to apply our epoxy, so that way all that loose glitter doesn't mingle with all the areas we don't want it into. It just really helps to keep everything nice and clean. Now, after I sweep it off, I'm going to take it outside and I'm going to give it a spray of clear sealer. The reason why I use the clear sealer versus the liquid sealer is because, I don't want to disturb, again, the ombre. But if you want to use your liquid sealer, that's perfectly fine too. I just know I want something over top of this to really ensure everything's not going to shift around on me when I epoxy. Now, after that's all said and done, we're going to come through and add about 30 milliliters of epoxy over top of our raw glitter. I'm going to place it onto my turner and hit it up really good with my torch, popping all those little micro bubbles. And then we will simply let that cure. Now, after that has cured, I am a strong believer, this is just me, I've done this all these years, but I like to clean my rim as I go. It just makes it easier for me. So every time I put on epoxy, I come through and I just clean up the rim and make sure it's nice and tidy. That's what I do. So I was digging through my drawers the other day and I happened upon these acrylic forms that I'd bought through a crafty veteran. And I was like, you know what, I want to use these in one of my videos. I have another one as well that I'll have to use at some other point. But this is a deep V template that you can use to cut out vinyls or make templates like I'm about to do. And you can see the inside, you could do a smaller one. You could do like a full like triangle shape. I don't know, they're really cool. And I like the idea that, you don't have to get out your Cricut machine or, your cutting machine to be able to do this, and you can just use it to make these really cool shapes onto your tumbler. So I'm just going to use a piece of vinyl that I don't really care about because I'm going to use this as a template to put down my V onto my tumbler. So I'm going to go ahead and get that cut out. See how easy that was? Super easy. And it looks like a piece of pizza if you guys wanted to make pizza. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get that placed down. Now, I was fighting a little bit with the curve of this tumbler. I just really wanted to make sure that my lines were going to be as straight as possible because I'm going to come through and use this as a guide to place down another piece of tape on the outside. So I'm just going to make sure that it's as flush as possible for me. And I was only going to do one on the front side, but I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and do one on the back side. Why not, So I'm going to go ahead and cut out another triangle for myself. And instead of it facing or coming from the top down, I'm going to have it coming from the bottom up. You can have it going the same way or however you guys want to do it is completely up to you. So I'm just going to get that lined up on the opposite side here. So as with most of the things that I do, sometimes my plans change midway through making something. And I actually had something else planned for this. And then we went in the opposite direction. So you're going to see some tape on the other side, but I only did that because I thought I was going to do something else. Okay. But I'm going to use electrical tape to line the outsides of my triangle because I want to come through and add alcohol inks to the inside, kind of block it off and give it some color as a nice base for what we want to do after that. So I'm going to go ahead and use electrical tape, which forms the best to these curves. So that way those alcohol inks don't seep up underside of the tape. But I'm just going to go through one more time, making sure my tape is nice and flush. And again, it is nice and flush. And see on the back side, there's that teal tape there. Don't mind that. I don't know why I did that. I was doing something else. All right. Anyways, now we're going to come through and pull this V shape off of there. And you can save these pieces of vinyl for something else if you want to. You don't have to scrap them or anything if you don't want to. But I'm going to go ahead and remove these. And then after I did that, I went ahead and ran another piece of tape along the bottom, again, just so that way I don't accidentally get my alcohol inks along the bottom where I don't want it. And this is what we have so far. I really like the look of this. Now, of course, on a 40 ounce, it's going to look a bit different than on a smaller tumbler. So 1V might be good enough for you, You guys aren't going to believe this. I actually purchased new alcohol inks. I know, crazy, right? I've had the ones sitting on the back here for, 5+ years. Some of them are a bit newer than that, but yeah, I went ahead and splurged and got myself some alcohol inks. So I am actually going to pick out a few colors that I want. It's kind of rainbowy, but I wasn't really going for a rainbow. So I just picked some colors I thought were pretty much. So the caps on these, you can see I tapped down to get the ink down under the cap here because all of them have to be snipped open like that. I do not recommend snipping it open over top of all your stuff because no matter if you tap it down or not, it's gonna spritz out just a little bit. So just be careful, okay? See here, I thought I was like, oh no, and then I cut it and it kind of went everywhere. But that's my fault. See, I got over my hand. That's my fault. The next one, I didn't do that. Okay, I made sure to tap it down and cut it properly, but just be careful when you go to do that. So this next part is completely abstract. You're just going to go with the colors of whatever decals you're using. You could use UVDTFs, you could use clear cast decals, which I plan on doing, but whatever you guys decide to do, just have fun, because you're really not going to see this too much underneath. So you don't have to get too crazy with it. You just want to fill it in and add a little bit of extra color underneath to give it some variation. All right, so I blended out my colors on what I wanted to do. I'm going to go ahead and remove my tape lines here. And if some of that alcohol ink did seep under your tape lines, just take some sandpaper and rough down the area where it's at, and it should disappear for you. So now we're going to go ahead and get a coat of epoxy over top of our alcohol inks here. I'm going to go ahead and let that cure, and then we're ready to move on to the next step. So I've had this vinyl for a really long time, and I'm actually really happy that I finally found something to use it with, because I really like it. It's really pretty. But this is a clear cast decal, so all the white areas you see are clear. It goes really well with the curve of the tumbler that I want to use. So I'm trying to find something where I can easily kind of detach it from the rest of it, so that way I can work with that curve that I have to go over here. So again, we're just going to use that template and simply cut it out. And as you see here, I can simply cut that end piece away, so that way I can roll it right over the middle part, the curved area. So I got the bottom laid down, and then I'm going to cut away the flower there, so that way I can really get in there and burnish that down really well. And the really great thing about these sticky decals is that they're very thick. So don't be afraid to pull on it. Don't be afraid to lift it back up and remove it and try it again and really push it down with your squeegee. It won't hurt these things. These things are very, very tough. So as you've seen there, I burnished down the bottom portion, and now I'm just going to come through and lay the rest of it down and finish burnishing this first half. And of course, once I get this side done, we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the opposite side. Oh wait, whoops, hold on. I'm going to trim the edge first is what I'm going to do actually. So I'm just going to trim up along the edge there. Oh, and if you have any bubbles, you'll see it, the bubbles right there. You just take your knife and cut it and squeegee the air out, and there you go. Now on the back side again, I'm going to do the same thing where I cut in between the leaf and the flower there, and then I burnished it down so that way it would lay nice and flat for me, and then I finish laying down the rest of it, and then I will trim up around the bottom as well, making sure that I have a nice straight line. See how I'm cutting it right there? And I'm actually going to go ahead and remove that piece too, so that way it's not in my way. And then I'm just going to take my knife again and trim right over here. There we go, and now it's nicely formed around our curve. Then we're going to move straight into adding our pinstriping. You can do as much pinstriping as you want, as little pinstriping as you want, completely up to you guys. I'm just going to use this light pink color. I thought went really well with all the other colors we have going on. So the raindrops, I got those right off of my Cricut Design Space. If you just type in raindrops, you find a free template for raindrops. That's all I used. It was free because I don't do the monthly subscription to it, so it has to be free for me. So I'm making sure that it's free for you guys too. But just go into your Cricut Design Space, type in raindrops, and you should be able to find it. But I went ahead and got that cut out on this pretty teal color, and now we're just going to randomly place our raindrops all in the glittered ombre area. And of course I added a few to the handle as well, just because, I have to tie it all together. So this decal, this is a UVDTF. This is what prompted me to create this tumbler in the first place. I was like, I really wanted to do something with an umbrella. I was, like I said, going to go in an opposite direction, but then I found this decal on Amazon. Now, full disclosure, this comes in a pack with other decals, other flower decals with quotes. I don't know, guys. I was really sad when I got it because not all of them, okay, just a few. I think there was only 3 out of all of them, maybe 4. It was chock full of spelling errors. Okay, so I can repurpose them. I can cut away the quotes, obviously, and repurpose the flowers, but it's just sad whenever you spend your money and then you get it and it's like that. You can tell most things these days are AI generated, but they really should make sure that they come through and make sure that the spelling, because honestly, guys, what if I would have been in a rush and I would just put it down? Because, sometimes you're working on a lot of projects and you're just like, that'll do. And, I just would have trusted that everything would have been spelled correctly. So just make sure you guys always double check your stuff when you get it. But anyways, the umbrella decal was worth it for me, I guess, because like I said, that's why I wanted to make this tumbler to begin with. And of course, I will repurpose the other ones with the bad spelling errors there and just use the flowers for something, of course. So now I'm just going to go ahead and lay down this umbrella. I like the idea of it kind of popping out. I don't know. I've been into that lately. I don't know if you guys have noticed that when I do these kind of like diamond shapes or whatever, now the V-shape thing here, but I like things kind of popping out at me. So that's what I'm going to do here. So of course with UV DTFs, you got to remove the transfer film that's over top, and you just want to be very careful. You don't want to peel back. It's not going to hurt the sticky sheet, but it could peel back the pinstriping that we did. So just very gently roll it back. And then the quote, I just typed it up on my Cricut Design Space and chose a pretty font, no rain, no flowers, okay? So, and I used white and then like this gold textured metallic for over top. I'm gonna go ahead and get that placed down where I would like it. And of course the next step is adding your epoxy over top. Now I did add a bit of dusty purple into my epoxy the last few rounds. But into this epoxy that we're doing right now, I did lay down a bit of full bloom. I just thought it really tied everything together. So I'm just going to very randomly sprinkle that around. I will apply its last few coats of epoxy and she is good to go. Whether you take this design and duplicate it as is, or you take it and let it inspire you to create something that is completely your own, I hope that you guys had a lot of fun watching this tutorial today. Again, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.